Hi, I'm Sereniti Hall, author of Trace of My Blood, and I'm on Jerry-Royce Live.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry-Royce, and welcome to Positive Power 21 Network, where you get your positive on. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet Radio.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and welcome to Jerry-Royce Live on Positive Power 21.org. I am the voice of Jerry-Royce, and when it's all positive, it's all power. That's Positive Power 21. And today's sponsors are REI Heritage Tours in Cambridge, Maryland, home of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Call 1-800-522-TOUR to book your scenic driving tour with more than 30 sites related to freedom seekers in the 1800s. And for more information, again, that'd be 1-800-522-TOUR. In addition to that, they're preparing for Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad Conference on June 13th and 14th to celebrate 150 years after her death. They will be having a keynote speaker and workshops to learn everything you can about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. In addition to that, we're preparing for a business expo called Success Revolution Conference 2014 in Columbia, Maryland, and that'll be on June 14th. Same weekend as the Harriet Tubman Conference in Cambridge. So, again, that's in Columbia, Maryland, and the website is www.agnesakatun.com. If you can't pronounce that or spell it, it's IKOTUN, Ikatun. And also you can Google Success Revolution Conference 2014 Business Expo, and the registration is only $5 to get through the door. And that event will be running all day, I think from like 2 to 7. Also, there's going to be another business expo going on in Jessup, Maryland. So this is for everybody that's in the Delmarva area in Virginia. And that'll be Simply Chic presents a Spring Fling vendor event. And that's in Ridgely Run Community Center, 8400 Mission Road in Jessup, Maryland. And that'll be this Saturday from 10 to 2. For more information, call 443-622-1400. Again, that's 443-622-1400. And you'll be speaking with Nicole Johnson. All right? And they're having an early bird special on tables and tablecloth and chairs and all that stuff. So give them a call as soon as you can. All right, everybody, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a special guest. We've been bringing you some very nice guests from what we've been finding on Twitter and Facebook. I know a lot of you are so avid readers of fiction and nonfiction novels, and Positive Power 21 staff is out there trying to pull you all different types of genre and interesting authors on this show. And today we have Sereniti Hall. She's an urban fiction author who pulls her creative juices and characters from everyday life, from the people, places, and things she's seen and encountered. While serving time in Marianna Federal Prison Camp, Sereniti didn't want to waste any time idling and wanted to have a foundation to build on her release. After reading an urban fiction novel by the queen of thug fiction, Wahida Clark, and many others, Sereniti was inspired to begin her writing career shortly thereafter. She queried Ms. Clark, who signed her to 2 big deals, and the rest, as they say, is her history. And she is also the author of a brand new book she just released. Let me pull that up real quick. And that is called Traces of My Blood by Sereniti Hall. I think she just released that in May 14th. Is it available in Kindle ebook. And welcome to the show, Sereniti Hall. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jerry. I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you for coming on Jerry-Royce Live. We're so excited to have you come on here and talk about your creative artwork, I call it. I love your covers. So what's going on? We're going to hear a little bit more about you. I know I just read a little opening about you was excited about reading. You got signed by a publisher. Tell us a little bit about your background before all this other stuff happened. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Before I began writing?
Yeah, before you found your writing career. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Before I began my writing career, I was kind of what you could call a troubled teen, trying to find a way. Ended up in prison, found out I had the ability to write, the talent, and then I started writing. And as you read in my bio, I contacted Wahida Clark, sent her some of my material, and she signed me on my first two books, Feenin and Still Feenin, and I've been writing ever since.
All right. So you were really inspired by her book, the book called Queen of Thug Fiction. Is that the name of the book?
No, they call her the Queen of Thug Fiction.
Oh, okay. But so you were reading several of her books while you were an inmate? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I did. The first book I read from her was Payback as a Mother.
Good. So what happened? You was a troubled teen. I mean, which you was just on the wrong side of tracks, or were you angry, or you just couldn't find yourself in the world yet, so you just was out there? What happened?
I guess it just comes from growing up in the hood and getting involved with dope boys, basically.
Getting involved with dope boys?
Yeah.
All right. So how long did you end up serving?
7.5 years in a prison camp and 6 months in the halfway house.
Okay. And then during this time, were you trying to find your way in the world? I mean, because, of course, you have to find work. Is that one of some of the things they kind of put on you when you first come out? Hey, you got to get back to work, or you got to join a program?
Yeah, I got a job I got a job not even, it was before 30 days once I got to the halfway house. I took what I can get. So I got a job at Taco Bell in the beginning. Then I started working at a hotel. But in the midst of me getting a job where I was in the halfway house, I got sick at my job one day and ended up my mama had to rush me to the emergency room. Then I had to have immediate surgery. They told us if they didn't do the surgery, then I probably wouldn't make it. So after I got past all of that, I had a baby since I've been home. She'll be 2 years old, June the 25th. She's my third daughter. I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. So basically, I was just trying to make things happen because I had to come home and show my kids that even though you make mistakes, you can turn your life around, do something positive.
That's right. That is true. So how long have you been out now?
November will make 3 years.
3 years. Wow, hasn't been that long. All right.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah. So one part of your bio I didn't read it say in 2011, Sereniti Hall became Wahida Clark's author to have a
Wahida.
Okay, I don't know why I see Rashida. First Wahida Clark Publishing author to have her novel Feenin listed as one of the top 10 books for street literature in the Library Journal. Since then, she has released even hotter and banging sequels, Still Feenin, and continues to surprise her readers novel after novel. Okay, now you mentioned what's the Library Journal? What's going on with that when you make the top 10? What does that mean?
They review a lot of urban fiction books, and then they just put them in a category from strongest to weakest, I guess. However they do it. I made top 10. I was very excited about that when Wahida let me know because I was in Pekin, Illinois at the time. Getting ready to be released that year, so she let me know that they listed me as a top 10, and I was excited about that. I was like, is that a big deal? And she was like, of course that's a big deal.
Wow.
You know, when something happens, when you come from the street and then you start doing stuff like this and something big happens, it's kind of hard to really set into reality that this is, like, really happening for you.
So, I mean, it was really, I guess it was a feeling you just can't describe, huh?
Exactly.
Wow. Well, I'm happy for you. You don't always hear these good news stories like this for, especially someone who has to make it back in society and find themselves. Sometimes a lot of us that's been out for a long time still haven't found our purpose. And that's a fantastic thing that you were able to spend time in there, rehab yourself, be accepted by someone on the outside. Now, she pretty much picked you up while you were still inside, right?
She did.
Yeah. Wow.
She did.
So were you able to write your story on a computer, or you had to handwrite it?
Oh my God! I started out with a pencil and some yellow paper.
Get out of here. And that was for your first book?
Yep, Feenin. And then we started going, like, they'll let you go to the library, and they had those old typewriters, like back in the day typewriters. Everything is ancient in the prison. Everything is ancient. So I did that until I came across this thing they call like a Alpha Smart. You can type your information into this little machine, and then you can take it down to the library, and they'll stick the USB in. Then they'll put it in a printer, and they'll print it out each page 50 cents a page.
Wow.
So.
Old school.
Yeah, but when you really want it, you just have to do it.
That's right. You wanted it. All right. Well, tell us about Feenin, your first book. Tell us about that. Then we're going to talk about the one that you're pushing right now.
Oh, Feenin is raw and uncut. It's about a girl that's on drugs in the street, and she's struggling, and she falls in love with a drug dealer. I picked that character up from someone in my family, and her best friend in the book is a gay guy. He's a homosexual guy. But, like, in real life, I used one of my aunts, and I used one of my uncles, which is deceased now, and he was a homosexual also. He ended up dying from HIV. And in the book, that's what happens to the character also. Even though I changed it around a little bit, but I kind of, like, I was really, really young when I was watching this stuff and when it was going on. So I kind of put it into a story and called it Feenin because she's fiending for drugs. He's also fiending for drugs, but he want to live this glamorous life. Then we have this hustler in there that basically he has up a facade because who he really is, they'll find out at the end of the book who he really is. I don't want to spoil it for the people that haven't read it.
Yeah,
but it's basically just raw street stuff that really happens to people in everyday life.
That's right. So you bringing it real. Now, what are your fans like? What are they saying about your writing? Now, I'm looking at Traces of Blood right now, and it looks like you just getting that one out there, and there's not a whole lot being said right now. But what are people saying about Feenin and I guess your second book, your sequel of Still Feenin?
I have a lot of people that love Feenin, but then there are some people that don't like it. But you're not going to be able to get everybody to like everything that you write. Some people are going to like it, some people not.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. But But for the most part, it's doing good. I made top 10 in the Library Journal, so, and it's steadily selling. So, yeah.
So tell us about the main character. Now, is Tanisha Hopkins, better known as Tiny Dream, is she the main character in Feenin?
Tanisha is the main character. She's the girl that's hooked on crack. She graduated from high school. She got involved with the wrong person. She ended up on drugs, and then she started living in the street. But she always had that best friend, Frenchie, who was always there to help her, no matter what.
Right.
Everybody has to have that person in their life that they can go to whenever they need help.
That's right.
So he was kind of like that crutch for her.
All right, let's see what some of your reviewers are saying. Okay, I pulled up one. Somebody pretty much wrote good 3-4 lines on Feenin, and this is what they say. Feenin starts off being a tale of lust, greed, lies, and betrayal, but it's also about redemption, unconditional love, and everlasting friendship. I absolutely fell in love with this novel. Miss Hall did a fantastic job of showing us addiction in the raw. I almost hated having to end it. She knitted a bunch of strange bedfellows together. Wow. Now, this person was really impressed. And this was written back in 2011. Now, this is the book that you wrote while you were still inside. Wow,
yes.
That is incredible. 5 stars. She said hot stuff. And then another one say, Feenin. Let me see. All right, this guy says, it's a guy here. He said, good read. I think I finished it in 2 days, which is sometimes rare. Sereniti Hall delivered. He looked forward to more of her work. This is what he's looking for. Then another one say, she called herself Feeling. This intriguing story provides the reader with a well-rounded view of living life from persons to having a hidden secrecies. Humans attempt to subconsciously conceal aspects of themselves from others due to shame or from fear of violence, rejection, harassment, or loss of acceptance. It can destroy or strengthen an individual depending on their mind frame. This book holds the reader's attention from beginning to end, and it's hard to put it down. How we should not judge others, not knowing others' story is well received, and how we are to archetype others is presented in this book. You must read this book in its entirety to appreciate it. So what do you think of your fans?
I love them.
And after reading something like that, does it just inspire you to just continue to do what you're doing?
Exactly. It does.
All right. And you have a lot of reviews, which is it's kind of rare sometimes, that people are going to read your book and say something nice, just like if you look up a product that you just purchased and you like the product, I mean, what's going to make you want to go out online and write a good review? Now, if it's getting on your nerves and you can't reach customer service or they giving you the runaround, then you're mad, you'll go out there and write something under the reviews. But here you have people saying wonderful things about your book. They took some time out. Now, have you had a chance to meet your fans yet? Or are you pushing a paperback or just the ebook right now?
Yeah, paperback. All of them are in paperback right now.
Oh, that's incredible.
So
now,
I do meet.
Say that again.
No, so I do get a chance to meet some of the fans, but I really love to get a chance to meet more of them. So when opportunity presents itself, I will be doing that in the near future. That's
right. Now they have a lot of book festivals. Now you're in that Georgia area. How popular are like the larger book festivals? I know they have them in New Orleans. A lot of them in the New York, Baltimore, and the Washington D.C. area. Have you ever a chance to just do some of the smaller signings? Just to get intimate with your fans. Have you tried that yet?
To be honest with you, Jerry, I haven't had a chance to do that. Even though I'm out of prison, I'm on probation. Got 2 more years left, so it's kind of like I still got the shackles on my feet. So it's like you can't go out and do stuff without getting approval from your probation officer.
Oh, okay. Now, speaking of your probationary officer, well, how does she feel about what you're doing? Do you get a chance to talk to her about it, or you just check in and check out? It's none of her business.
He's a man. He comes and see me every now and then. In the beginning, he was seeing me a lot. I was seeing him a lot, and then he kind of slowed down. But he's impressed with what I'm doing. So actually, it's 5 years that I'm supposed to be on it. This is my 3rd year. So in November, I shouldn't be on it anymore because he talked to me and everything has been going good. Haven't been in any trouble. I have been doing everything I was supposed to do. So he said there's no need for me to actually stay on it for 5 years.
That's right. All right, let's talk about your latest book. Let me get back to that book real quick. Let's see, that's Feenin. Still Feenin. Now, my question is, Still Feenin, are they the same characters? Are the characters moving over to that one, or is it just it's a new book?
It's the sequel to Feenin.
Oh, it is a series?
Yeah, and Still Feenin, Tanisha kind of get her crown back. Because she started to do better and change her life around. Okay.
So she's getting a lot better. So what happens? She just getting more mature, getting stronger, better friends, better circle of friends? What's happening to her?
Yeah, but like in the first book, she messed around with the dope boy, but he's also a married man, which he neglects to reveal to her. So in the second book, the woman that I'm trying not to give it away.
Right, I understand.
Karma's going to come back at her, and she's going to have to deal with it the best way that she knows how without falling back into addiction.
Okay, in your second chapter on your website, Still Feenin, say, just as Tanisha begins to feel a decent life is opening doors to her, Infinity allows insecurity and misconception to darken her heart. So who's Infinity?
Infinity is the wife.
Oh.
The dope, yeah.
Okay. So then you're talking about envious and vengeful, and Infinity pulls the ultimate double cross on her, leaving her devastated without hope. Tanisha fight back and overcome these obstacles to maintain her sobriety, or what? She's not going to give up. Did she collapse? So she having a relapse in this second book?
Well, Jerry, I can't tell you that. It's going to be a spoiler for the reader.
I thought I saw that on here. Okay, this is what it says. It say, or will she give up? Okay, it's asking a question.
Yeah.
Will she give up or will she relapse? Okay, yeah. I got you. All right, sorry about that. No problem. All right, now you're pushing what? Endless Tears, Traces of My Blood. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your marketing. How you marketing these books? You just been that you're on probation, so you're kind of limited with your travel. So how are you marketing these books so your fans will know when you release them? When you're able to come out, how are you communicating with them? You got the website out there. Are you blogging, Facebooking? What are you doing with your fans right now?
I have my blog page set up. I only put one thing on it so far. So I'm going to start getting into that more. But I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Just starting to get on Instagram. So most of my networking is on social media and word of mouth.
Okay. Like Endless Tears, that's a powerful title. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Endless Tears?
Endless Tears is a book that's written about children that are being sexually abused. And I basically wrote it for parents to become analyzers of the stories that are in the book, of things that has happened to children or things that could happen to children, someone close to them, a friend, family member, their child, maybe even something that happened to them when they was younger and they haven't had a chance to deal with it.
Wow. Now this a fiction book also?
No, it's nonfiction. The names and stuff have been, it's nonfiction. I'm messing up. And the names and stuff have been changed in it, but the stories are true.
Oh, wow. So you had people that actually came forward and told you these stories? I mean, when did this happen? Did you write this book while you was on the inside, or you wrote it since you've been home, and these are stories that came from people that you know?
I wrote it on the inside, and then it was kind of like, how can I say it? It kind of helped me get some weight off my shoulders also. I wrote it on the inside, and when I got home, I went to the editor, and we went back through it with a fine-tooth comb, make sure everything was how it was supposed to be and that it was going to be received correctly. But it was like, because I've been through this myself, so it was like therapy for me to write this book.
Oh, so before you got in a lot of trouble, this happened like real early, like what, you talking about, like elementary school, middle school?
The very first time I was 8 years old when it happened.
Wow. Now, how did you grow up? Did you grow up in a house with both parents, a single mom, grandma? Who raised you?
I was kind of bouncing around here and there. So mostly I was in the street.
In elementary school? You didn't start out in elementary school.
Not in elementary school, no. I started, turn to the streets when I turned 12.
Okay, so in elementary school,
I was with my mom.
You was with your mom. Would you say it was stable?
It was kind of, she had a lot to go through, being that she had 4 kids and she was single because my father was in prison. And then the man that stepped in to take care of us, my stepfather, he turned to drugs. So my mom had to leave him. Before then, everything was stable. And when he turned to drugs, everything kind of fell apart for us.
Oh, so the streets ate him up. So was he a working man?
Yes, he was.
So the pressure just got to him, and he just got weak, huh?
He was the best thing ever happened to us. He was out one day smoking weed with somebody, and they laced it.
Oh, and you hear a lot about that happening. Somebody do something to some weed, and next thing you know, they're addicted to heroin or crack.
Yep. That's why sometimes when people be like, there's nothing wrong with trying something once, but you got to be careful what you're going to try that one time. You just may not be able to come back from it.
And he couldn't. Wow.
Nope, never did.
Wow. Like you said, he was the best thing happened to y'all, and that just destroyed it.
But right now, to this day, Jerry, I love him the same because the things that he did for me, being that I wasn't his biological child, and my father was in prison when he was sober, and being the father that he could be, he was the best person that anyone could have for a father at that time.
Yeah, that's right. Amen. Bless his soul. Okay, now, you're 8 years old. You know, things was looking pretty good at one time until, you know, your stepfather got sick. You say you turned 12, 13, you was molested. Was this person charged for that?
No, it wasn't. And you know what's crazy about it? A lot of people think, like, when I was 8, it happened when I was 8, and I was living with my dad at the time. And a lot of people think, like, people always get molested by men. But it's not always by men. Because this particular time, it was by a woman. And it was one of my dad's girlfriends. And then she would, like, try to blackmail me that she going to tell him this and she going to tell him that. And me being 8 years old, I didn't know any better. And it's crazy because even though this stuff was happening and I knew it was wrong, I didn't really begin to really realize what she was doing until I got older and got sexually active myself.
Right. And that's when it started coming back, what was going on.
Yeah.
So she got away with it, but you still living with the thought, with the memory.
Yeah. It's crazy because I ran into this lady years later after I had my first daughter. I had my first daughter in 1996. I was 18 years old. So she had to be about 2. She had to be about, no, I had my second daughter too, so it would have been in 2000. I had my second one in 99. So I go to this gas station and I see her. And she comes out there because I never confronted her about it. So she comes to my car and she's like, I heard you had kids. When you going to bring the kids and let me see the kids? So at that moment, I was pumping gas. All I could think of in my head was to spray this lady with the gas and throw the match on her because she asked me about my kids after she know what she did to me, regardless if I ever mentioned it to her or not. You know what you did. And what gives you the audacity to think you can ask me something about my kids?
That's right. That's the devil in her.
Yeah. The devil was about to get her lit up with a match and some gas. But I'm glad I didn't do it. No, I did not do it. But in my mind, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you committed a crime in your mind.
I did. Right.
It
happens. We have to pray about it.
That's right. All right, so Endless Tears, you pretty much talking to other victims. They share their stories with you. How hard was that to hear these stories of these people, these victims? They were children. Was that tough?
Well, it kind of was, but it was crazy because I was the first person to tell my story. And, you know, when you're going through something like this and you grew up in the street and you haven't had a chance to talk to other people about it, and you get in a place with a group of girls and you just come out, because it was all about how did we get into this place that we're in now. We was in prison taking a class. So it's like, how did you get to this place? What happened in your life to bring you to this point? So we went to talking about things that happened in our life, a number of things. And I was like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to go ahead and just get this off my chest now. So after I said it, another girl broke down. And then the psychologist turned to her and asked her, was it something that she wanted to say? You know, how did she feel about it? So it took her a few minutes, and then she finally told her that she had been molested by her grandfather.
Whoa.
He used to take her for long rides and stuff, and then, like, have her give him oral sex, and then things kind of progressed from there.
That's terrible.
So it was pretty intense in that room.
I bet it was. And she been living with that all these years.
Yep, she has.
Wow. All right. So you started writing the stories down. So what are you thinking? You know, wow. You know, I mean, when did you start thinking that this could be a book? Did it come to you then, or when you was in your cell thinking about what just happened? When did it come to you?
When I went back in my room. It's kind of like when I get in a quiet place, I tend to do a lot of thinking anyway. Like, when I'm in my sleep, it feels like something is always running rapid in my mind. So I just got up in the middle of the night, got my little light that we have, and I just went to writing. And I wrote my story first, and then I went to the girls, and I was like, do you mind if I write your story? And they was like, oh, you can write it. Just make sure you change the name.
Right.
So I was like, okay. So people started writing stuff down that they didn't tell in class, and they was giving me their stories on paper.
Well, so it was kind of helping them too, right?
Yep, that was therapeutic for them also.
So what did the psychiatrist that was leading the group was saying?
Jerry, you will not believe this, but the psychiatrist, even though she wasn't supposed to tell us at the time, but she told us that she had been through the exact same thing when she was a child. She said that's what made her do what she do now.
Get out of here.
Yep.
The professional was affected.
Yep, it was.
What kind of world is this? It make you think, make you wonder. Children being affected, you know, and these kind of things probably was the reason why some of these girls were in there, right? Was that most of their story?
Most of it. And then getting involved with the wrong guy, and you know, I won't put all mine on getting involved with the wrong guy, even though I probably did. That probably was a part of it. But I had this mentality to try to hustle and get my own anyway. And I had this mentality that I was going to get it by any means necessary.
So basically you were serving time because you were peddling drugs?
Yeah, I had a conspiracy charge.
So is any of your life is in any of these books? Basically your business enterprise?
No, it's not.
No. But will we see that soon?
You might.
Yeah, because a lot of people are kind of... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I could say, like, bits and pieces of... I can pull bits and pieces of my life and put it in this book. Like, say, Traces of My Blood, for instance, the latest release. Before I was in the Youth Development Center, and when I got out of the Youth Development Center, I came home. I came from Seattle, Washington. I came back to Georgia, and I was living with my stepmom, but I was in high hopes of seeing my dad because my dad had just got out of prison. And then when I got there, she told me that he had just gone back to prison, and they gave him a life sentence in prison for drugs.
Really? Wow.
Yes. She was living in a project, so she let me live with her for a while. I was 15 at the time. So Traces of My Blood takes place in that project where she was living. And it's kind of like her friends, and people that she was associated with. I kind of took everybody's story and put it into this book.
So the main character is what, Pamela? She the main character? Or
yeah,
Kamara?
Kamara's her daughter. She's kind of like the person that's watching what her mom is doing, and she feels like, okay, this is how I got to live my life too. But then she got a cousin that she's looking at how her cousin want to live rich and famous. And she kind of straddling the fence a little bit because she really don't know which way to go. She know it's wrong, but she's like, she don't have a positive role model in her life.
Right.
So she's going to have to kind of figure life out on her own.
Now, is that important for young people, like when you was growing up, to have a positive role model? You think if you had a positive role model, you wouldn't worry about the hustling side? You would have said, okay, it's another way to live, because nobody really gets away with anything. They think they are, but eventually everybody gets caught.
That's right.
So,
consequences to everything that you do in life.
That's right. Because I was listening to a podcast that had a son of a mobster on there. He was traveling around telling his story on different XM stations. Anybody would listen to him. He wrote a book about his dad, how his dad tried to walk away from the mafia. He was actually, I think, a hitman, and eventually they caught up with his father and killed him. So he was telling how him and his mom was struggling. they couldn't survive without, their dad's income. But they didn't know that he had buried a whole bunch of money. But he had told the mother, but she forgot where it was. So, but then eventually they found it. But it was after they were struggling for all these years. And he was saying in his book that all these guys never get away. Either they killed, buried, in the ground, or they give up evidence, and then they have to live on a run, or they locked up. Those are your choices. Was those your choices when you was out there in the street? And did you think about it?
I really didn't think about it. I knew I was going to jail eventually for selling drugs. I knew that. I didn't think I was going to get as much time as I got, but I knew I was going.
Right. Was that because you didn't have a good lawyer? Was that because of your lawyer?
Oh, nobody beat the feds. Nobody.
The feds.
Yeah, you going.
Yeah.
If you get a conspiracy charge, you going.
Mm. And the conspiracy charge is because of the content, the amount that you was carrying and pushing?
No, it's just when a group of people get together to commit a crime. It's basically the definition of it, and it's called conspiracy.
Oh. So you guys were kind of operating on on a kingpin level?
That's what they said.
But y'all was small time, according to you guys, right?
No, I'm just saying what the people said,
Yeah, but if you looked at your definition of how you guys were living, it was just enough just to get by, or y'all was really living the glamorous life?
We was living okay. It was okay. We was doing pretty good. We're not the cartels or anything like that, but we was doing pretty good.
Yeah, y'all was eating every day and doing what you needed to do, right?
Yeah, no Frank Lucas kind of stuff, but we was all right.
I hear you. But was it worth it?
No, because you can't even sleep comfortably at night. You're going to worry about the people trying to come rob you or the police coming to get you. When I first went to jail, my first night in there, I slept like a baby. I didn't want to be in there, but I slept like a baby because it was like it was all over with.
Mm-hmm. You was tired.
Yes.
And you got to be careful who you trust. So a lot of times when you look at some of these movies, like that movie Traffic, some of the stories that came out of like Miami Vice, the version that what's the actor name, the black actor? I forgot his name that quick. Played in. You think about some of how they have to think like you guys and move like you guys in order to catch y'all. And the faces that you meet every day, you just don't know who you're looking at, right? You don't know who these people really are. You really don't.
Never know. And that's in anything that you're doing, like not just hustling in the streets. That's anything. You never know.
That's right. You don't. Now, how you feel hustling books? Now you hustling books.
Oh, I love it. Yes, I love
it. So you wake up in the morning, what you do? You look at your bank account. You open up, go online to see how many downloads you had on Amazon, how many people bought books from your PayPal account. See what.
You know what? I don't even go on there and look. I don't even go on there and look every day. I'm too busy trying to get to my regular 9 to 5 and trying to write another book. I look, but not every day because I have my kids I have to worry about. They come first in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make it to that 9 to 5.
That's right. So what are you doing now that, that's making you a stronger person, besides raising your kids? I mean, what else are you doing besides? I'm
a desk clerk at a hotel. I go out and talk to other troubled teens in middle school, and I kind of enjoy doing it.
So you're involved with your kids at their school? Is that what you're doing?
I go to other
kids' school?
They were going to this particular school at one time, but they moved on now. And but I enjoy talking to them because these group of kids, they really do not know what's out there in the streets. And they think, like, they watch the videos and stuff, and they high off of that. They really buzzing off of it. They think they can get out there and just do this stuff. they don't know how cruel the streets can be.
Wow.
And how they need to sit down in school and get their lesson.
That's right.
And worry about their education. Yeah.
That's right. Now, Serenity, are you prepared to read? Are you prepared to read one excerpt from your book?
Which one you want me to read it from?
The latest book. Let's hear something from Traces of My Blood.
So let's see.
All right.
I gotta find something clean in here to read.
No, you okay? We on internet radio.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's
right. Now, I mean, I'm not sure if you have you told the kids to come out and check it out.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
they checking it out. My daughter got all her friends listening in, so that's why I said I want to kind of keep it a little clean.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I understand. Now, this is supposed to be a heart-racing tale. 4 generations of women full of Tennessee and deceit. Caught in the trenches, trying to survive life by any means necessary. So you're going to keep these type stories alive to teach lessons? Is that your purpose pretty much?
Pretty much. And to entertain at the same time.
Yeah, so is it
so hopefully when somebody leave it, hopefully when they read it, they'll get the message out of it.
Right. So all
my
have a message
books,
at the end?
Yeah.
Good.
All of
good. That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to read about Kamara, the daughter, Pamela's daughter. It's
cool.
chapter 2, and it's called Real Talk. Kamara was hot in the ass, or what old people would call smelling her musk, light-skinned with light brown eyes and long, jet black curly hair. Her body was extremely mature for her age. A man could easily mistake her for 21 or older. She had been standing in the window peeping out the scene between her mother and Fletcher. My God, I hate her sometimes. Does she ever get tired of degrading herself over this broke-ass nigga? Damn, so fucking stupid. Just below her window, their next-door neighbor, Candy, complained about Pam and Fletcher to anyone within listening distance, and today was no different. Her loud, irritating voice echoed in Kamara's ears. That's a stupid bitch. She always take that no good motherfucker back. There's no way in hell I keep taking his broke ass back. It's not like he does anything for her. She's so fucking dumb. I can't wait to talk to that bitch later on tonight, Candy said. Kamara glared down at Candy's head, wishing the hot sun would burn her up or either make her shut the hell up and mind her own business. With a friend like that and a man like Fletcher, Mama damn sure don't need no enemies. Each time her mom and Fletcher got into an altercation, she hoped it would be the last time she had to see Fletcher's disgusting face. Please, God, let Mama come to her senses and kick him out on his sorry broke ass. Pam had met Fletcher one Saturday night at Choo Choo's, a nightclub up on Damascus Road. Their hookup was supposed to be a one-night stand, a hit it and quit it type of thing. But that night was multiplied by many others. It went from Fletcher leaving a change of clothes to his entire wardrobe, at least the little that he did have. And Pam, having some in-house dick, made her life complete. So she never asked him to leave. She just went with the flow. As Pam and Fletcher headed back to the apartment, Kamara hurried back into her room. She didn't want them to see her observing what she thought to be pathetic actions between an adult couple. Kamara was livid, but there wasn't anything she could do about it. Oh, she's so stupid. I hate him. She flopped on her bed and slammed her dingy pillow on the thin mattress twice. She heard Pam yelling, Kamara, Kamara. What? Kamara shouted. Say what to me again, and I'm going to slap you upside your head. Let's go. I got someplace to be. I don't want to go nowhere unless it's to the store. I got $2 to spend. I've been asking you to take me to the store for the longest, Kamara replied, lying back on her bed and turning on her TV. If I call your name again, you're not standing in front of me, ready to go. I'm coming. Dang, Kamara said, putting on her badly worn Jordan. They left the apartment and jumped in Fletcher's Cutlass. She watched her mother inspect the gas gauge and then started laughing. He don't even have $2 worth of gas. He was only bullshitting, pretending to leave this entire time. She cackled until her belly ached. Kamara smacked her lips and rolled her eyes. This nigga don't have no gas or a dime in his pocket to buy any. The little bit of fuel he does have ain't gonna get him to the corner store, slick ass. And you acting surprised? Kamara mumbled as she slung all of Fletcher's mixtapes from underneath her and onto the back seat. Pam gave her daughter the side eye, shook her head, and then fired up the engine. Please, Lord, let us make it to the nearest gas station. Kamara, I'm going to need the $2 you got. I know you were begging me to go to the store and spend them, but I need to put them in the tank. Kamara gasped. No, this is all the money I got, Ma. Dang. She slung the last mixtape onto the back seat. What you mean? No, She glared at Kamara. I'm going to give them back to you. Hell, I'm praying that $2 worth of gas and 3 rims. $2 worth of gas, 3 rims, and a donut get us where we need to be. I got to get some more money. And stop slinging that boy music around. Not my problem. Did I doze off while driving after taking X and syrup? No, I didn't. But your so-called man did. You want me to continue reading?
No, we okay. Good job. Traces of My Blood. Now,
yeah.
I didn't get I just wanted to get a little bit more on the Endless Tears for those who have missed the story you told, because to me, Endless Tears is a must sell, a must read.
Yes, it is.
For anybody who has gone through any type of abuse, I feel like this book, and I like the way your writing flows. Your writing flows smoothly. Now, Endless Tears is the best kept dirtiest secrets are vaulted by innocent children who are afraid to tell the truth. Abusers go free because some people deem righteous to cover up their crime. In this book, you will take a powerful walk in the minds of children and adults as they journey through a life of pain, abuse, secrecy, and feelings of abandonment. The author has set out to make readers become analyzers as they explore the mindset of children who are victims of molestation. Endless Tears is written for the masses of all genders, cultures without discrimination. Serentiti Hall's mission is to bring awareness to children's childhood abuse in hopes of minimizing this insidious crime that is rapidly stealing the innocence of perfectly happy children, leaving them with a devastating burden to bear. Let's look for the signs and educate ourselves in every way possible, starting with the pages lie between Endless Tears. And what's so sad also about this, Serenity, is that you still hear these stories of these things happening on the news with, even pastors. And, I know before the Catholic Church was always guilty of what was happening. I never knew that was a black person's crime. I was like, no, not our people. We take care of our families. But it's like you're starting to hear these stories come out now, and it's like, ugh, And
it's an overflow of them.
Yes. I mean, because I think you may be like the 4th author in my short time being on internet radio since I started introducing authors. I think in March that I've gotten someone who has written a book like this, and I'm just coming out of the gates, So, man, I wish you the best, getting the word out there and being an advocate for these people, help them, with the pain they're living with. And like you said, these types of materials do help people to cope. They never really fully recover, but at least they can come to grips and live a good life, to bring things back to perspective. All right. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans, my audience, before we say goodbye to Sereniti Hall?
Yes, I appreciate everyone that supports me in the past, now, and in the future. God bless, and everybody just take everything one day at a time.
That's right. Amen. And again, we appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, Traces of My Blood, your work with Endless Tears. We wish you the best with your work, and we know you're going to do well out there. And I know you have more stories to tell, just like that. So we wish you Godspeed. All right. And thank you for coming on. You're welcome. And thank you for coming. All the people that came out to listen to Serenity Live, thank you for joining us at Jerry Royce Live. If you want to be able to get a lot of these stories sent to your inbox, your email, go out to www.spreaker.com/positivepower21, or you can come right out to our website at positivepower21.org and hear all of the interviews we have done since December 13 when we debuted on Positive Power 21. And we appreciate you all for coming out and joining us this afternoon. And this evening. You guys all take it easy and continue to follow us, okay, on Facebook. I'm Jerry Royce Live on PositivePower21.org. That's a wrap. Take care, everybody. All right, Serenity, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I was so nervous.
You did very well. Just the beginning for you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Positive Power 21 Network. Team 21 would like to thank you all for tuning in, and
take care of
spread the word.
You
Tell a friend. This is Jerry Royce at Positive Power 21, where we get our positive on.
I was so nervous.
PositivePower21.org.
Yeah, a lot of people in there.